This is why your RAM costs $900. Look at this, right? Oh my God, this is Seedance, and it's just look at this. It's funny, admittedly, this is funny. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, what are we doing when this is what all the compute, all the increasing cost, and all of that stuff is being used for? It's insane. I mean, look at this, right? What's going on? But you know what? There's something actually incredible going on here. There is a pushback to the essential mass copyright theft that Seedance is engaged in. And we're going to just break this down because this is this is ironic beyond all belief. Like in every conceivable way. It's insane. So this doesn't come as a surprise, does it? After what we've seen Seedance can produce. Now, one of the clips that went massively viral from this AI video generation model was Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt in this kind of like apocalyptic Avengers style nuclear blasted city. And it was not great, but their likeness, their faces, it was done pretty good. And they were saying things which, well, these actors probably would not say. But also, none of that matters, right? It's literal copyright theft. One of the things with these AI models, especially this Seedance model, I'm going to show you some more examples in this video, but it doesn't actually entirely create anything. It's just altering things that exist or using existing actors and altering them. It's very impressive what it does with them, but this obviously opens a massive case of copyright infringement. But I will say this, I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. Seedance is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company. They do not give a fuck about copyright, so I don't think they're going to care. But anyway, this is reported by the BBC, as you can see. Hollywood studios take aim at ultra-realistic AI video tool. And remember, this is just going to get worse and worse as time goes on. And it gives me an existential crisis because I'm like, what? Nothing will be real. Anyway, so the BBC say major studios have demanded that a powerful new AI video tool launched by TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance must immediately cease infringing copyright with its clips based on existing films and TV shows. Many of the clips are based on real actors, TV shows and films, and the Motion Picture Association told the BBC in a single day the Chinese AI service Seedance 2.0 is engaged in unauthorized use of US copyrighted works on a massive scale. The MPA represents the major US studios, Netflix, Paramount Pictures, Prime Video and Amazon MGM Studios, Sony Pictures, Universal Studios, and Walt Disney Studios and Warner Brothers Discovery. According to ByteDance, the product has already suspended the ability for people to upload images of real people, and it respects intellectual property rights and copyright protections and takes any potential infringement seriously. It doesn't. But anyway, the content reference was created as part of a limited pre-launch testing phase, it said. Yeah, right. And that's a clip from the video. The AI tool can quickly make highly realistic clips from a short, simple text prompt, such as a fist fight between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt, Will Smith battling a red-eyed spaghetti monster, or even Friends characters reimagined as otters. The MPA's chairman and CEO, Charles Rivkin, said, by launching a service that operates without meaningful safeguards against infringement, ByteDance is disregarding well-established copyright law that protects the rights of creators and underpins millions of American jobs. ByteDance should immediately cease its infringing activity. According to ByteDance, steps are being taken. It's like, we're taking steps. You got to be realistic here, right? They know what their model's capable of before they make it available to any kind of public usage. So they could have curtailed this before they did it, but they know that if they let it just go crazy and do whatever it wants, then it's going to get more traction, right? And it obviously has, right? And also, like I said, they're Chinese. They don't particularly care. Copyright to them, it's not, they don't care. Like, whatever. Monitoring mechanisms and process to ensure compliance with local regulations. The clips have been flooding social media, and users have also been posting scenes based on shows and films like The Lord of the Rings, Seinfeld, Avengers, and Breaking Bad. ByteDance has billed its new AI tool as delivering an ultra-realistic, immersive experience. It immediately set alarm bells ringing in Hollywood and beyond, with Deadpool writer Reese warning, I hate to say it, it's slightly over for us, because there was some like crazy Wolverine and Deadpool fight videos that this made. They're still janky. Like, I'm not going to show you that one, but Deadpool pulls out his katana and it's sort of like he pulls it out back to front, if that makes any sense. Like, there's weird things like that. I've seen a medieval one where an arrow was like flying backwards. He was like, what's going on? But the thing is, like, as a quick take, they are impressive, obviously, but there's still all these like crazy AI errors that still hasn't been sorted out, but probably will be by next week, though, given the rate these things seem to progress. Anyway, a review by US magazine Forbes noted that Seedance 2.0 offers a level of creative control that mimics a human director and enables users to create high-end outputs without needing complicated production tools. While many users are likely to be delighted and have its powers at their fingertips, Reese, who co-wrote and executive produced Deadpool films, among others, said he was terrified by the implications. So many people I love are facing the loss of careers they love. I myself am at risk. when I wrote "It's over," I didn't mean to sound cavalier or flippant. I was blown away by the Pitt versus Cruz video. It is so professional. That's exactly why I'm scared. See, this is the thing, right? The framing of it and all of that, the cinematography, I guess you can say, of that AI model, it is really good. Obviously, the fight was stupid, and what they were saying was like whatever in the backgrounds, whatever. But it was really impressive that it could do what it could do. But again, my takeaway from that is none of it was unique. The blasted cityscape, that's not unique. Brad Pitt's obviously not unique. Tom Cruise isn't unique, so it was just mashing elements together. Anyway, my glass is half empty view is that Hollywood is about to be revolutionized and decimated. If you truly think the Pitt versus Cruise video is an unimpressive slop, you've got nothing to worry about, but I'm shook. Original ideas are the hardest part. You see, this is the thing, they definitely are. Heather Ann Campbell, who has written for Saturday Night Live and Rick and Morty, said the results were akin to fan fiction and that people would still be required to come up with original ideas. All of these people who have access to the latest AI visualization engines like Seedance, they're being given total control to create anything they can imagine, and they're turning out fan fiction. Breaking Bad's new scene or Goku in live action, etc. It seems like it's challenging to make something new, even when you have the infinite budget to make lifelike TV, film, or animation. Almost like the original ideas are the hardest part, which I agree with that. It definitely are. Okay, so this is Screen Actor Guild statement on Seedance, right? So this is obviously it's making waves and it's having an impact, and there could be a political element to this, because while I say China doesn't care about copyright, there are certain, obviously the American film industry, we all know the situation with Trump, and he would start throwing tariffs left, right, and center. There's possibility that he starts doing things to China because of this. I'm not saying he's going to do that, but what I'm trying to sort of extrapolate out of this is there could be a political sort of element to this if copyright is just completely ignored. Although ByteDance are claiming they've curtailed some of its functionality. Anyway, the SAG Guild stands with the studios in condemning the blatant infringement enabled by ByteDance's new AI video model, Seedance 2.0. The infringement includes the unauthorized use of our members' voices and likeness. This is unacceptable and undercuts the ability of human talent to earn a livelihood. Seedance 2.0 disregards law, ethics, industry standards, and basic principles of consent. Responsible AI development demands responsibility that is non-existent here. And again, it isn't just Seedance and ByteDance who've been guilty of this. I mean, this literal website we're looking at here, this model Grok, is exactly the same thing. We all seen the stuff that was doing a couple of months ago. So just to show you some examples of this, and again, this is what I mean about it's not actually, it doesn't create anything new. This is obviously the end of Titanic, and in this takeaway, well, he's saved. It's Jack, isn't it? Jack is saved. He doesn't die. He's pulled up onto the door, and he gets to live instead of floating away to the depths, very tragically, if I remember that was accurate. Yeah, it's somewhat impressive. It's funny how his arm goes through his leg, but it still is getting better. This is the thing with this, the worry with it. Okay, this is where things get kind of funny. So Disney has sent a cease and desist letter to ByteDance, which accuses the company of making available a pirated library of Disney's copyrighted characters from Star Wars, Marvel, and other Disney franchises, as if Disney coveted intellectual property were free, public domain clip art. Wait a minute. So what's going on here, Disney? You may remember this from a while back. It's from December last year. The Walt Disney Company basically is now in an agreement with OpenAI. So OpenAI's video model Sora can generate Disney stuff. So what? You know what I mean? It's like, what? This to me is insane. I know they're probably doing it for, let's say, reasons, but to me it's insane because any company that's got a creative IP, you don't want to give that over to AI, because AI will just infinitely generate all kinds of stuff, and you're going to slopify your IP, and you really don't want to do that. But they have reached an agreement, as I say, with OpenAI. I think this agreement is it's more complicated than it looks, because it's to do with Disney having the ability to buy equity in OpenAI at a certain point down the line, and it's probably put in place because OpenAI would be liable for a massive lawsuit because of everything Sora was doing, and even just ChatGPT and all those kind of models that the company owns. This might actually be a cheaper way for OpenAI to almost pay that fine by giving Walt Disney equity a certain value, which then they can obviously sell off if OpenAI's ending up worth trillions, and then Disney will be happy because they're going to make more than they ever would taking them to court. That's what I think is going on here, but still, it's ironic, isn't it? So check this out over on Variety. So SAG slams blatant infringement in Seedance AI videos. And then we get to see a bit of Samwise. But then, as you'll see in a second, it's relevant because SAG is joining the industry condemnation of ByteDance, the Chinese owner of TikTok, for releasing a new video model that has enabled widespread copyright infringement online. SAG president Sean Astin is among those whose likeness has been used in videos generated by the model, Seedance 2.0. In the video, he appears as the role of Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, saying, "Mr. Frodo, why don't we just take the eagles straight to Mount Doom?" Again, they're funny little clips that are being made from it, but it's like mass copyright infringement. The Performers Union called the Seedance videos, which also includes Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, fighting on a rooftop, blatant infringement. SAG-AFTRA stands with the studios in condemning the blatant infringement enabled by... Well, we've read this, so I'm not going to go through it again, because that's their official statement. But they do go on to say, Disney also sent a cease and desist letter to ByteDance. A general counsel, John Rogovin, on Friday, Variety has confirmed. The letter, first reported by Axios, accuses the company of making available a pirated library of Disney's copyright characters from Star Wars, Marvel, etc. Again, we've been through that. But ByteDance's virtual smash and grab of Disney's IPs is willful, pervasive, and totally unacceptable, wrote David Singer, a partner at Jenna and Block. Singer has led the studio's fight against unlicensed AI video platforms, starting with a lawsuit last June against Midjourney. He also sent a cease and desist letter to Google in December over unauthorized use of Disney's own characters on Veo, which coincided with Disney's agreement to license its characters to OpenAI for use on the Sora 2 platform. Which, again, this has got, it's got to be said, this isn't just ByteDance. You've got Google were involved in this. I think Google's still doing this with its latest Veo model. I've seen some pretty disturbing clips of Darth Vader out there, which were from their model. So anyway, the Motion Picture Association also condemned ByteDance on Thursday, calling the company to immediately cease its infringing conduct. The Human Artistry Campaign, a coalition of artists, right groups affiliated with the Hollywood unions, also spoke out against the model on Friday. The launch of Seedance 2.0 is an attack on every creator around the world, a campaign spokesperson stated. Stealing human creators' work in an attempt to replace them with AI-generated slop is destructive to our culture. Stealing isn't innovation. These unauthorized deepfakes and voice clones of actors violate the most basic aspects of personal autonomy and should be deeply concerning to everyone. Authorities should use every legal tool at their disposal to stop wholesale theft. Seedance appears to mark a significant advance over previous AI video platforms, I should say, in that it combines audio and video to create a more cinematic feel. SAG-AFTRA has sought to several years to establish guardrails around AI replication of actors' likenesses. In 2023, the union went on strike to establish a principle of consent and compensation for any such use of recognizable actor by the major studios. The union is currently in the midst of negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers on a successor agreement that would build on the previous deal. Right then, so yeah, this is just going to get worse as time goes on. Right now, these models are insanely impressive. What they can do, they're not really generating anything new, but they are taking existing media and they are able to edit it in ways which would take, to get Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt to fight, you'd have to have them, hire the actors, get them to fight, or unless you had some like insane CGI thing which would cost millions and millions. But like basically, let's just say the cost, right, would be astronomical. But now we're just at a point where you can write into a prompt window, press enter, and then sit there while the $900 RAM sticks do their job. And then you get a video of them fighting, and you're like, oh, great, I'm a director. But actually, the substance, I should say, of the video, it's not really unique, and that's the problem with the AI model. So there may be a saving grace in all of this stuff, that ultimately you're still going to need that human element for a while, given the way things are going. Anyway, you're going to need that human, like, creative element to make the stuff. But how long is it going to be until the AI just starts generating stuff off the cuff? I mean, again, I don't think the current AI models are going to be capable of that, because I think what they're capable of is just regurgitating and reiterating on what already exists, not creating something completely new. An AI model wouldn't create the Dune universe, for example. But if you ask it to make a giant worm in a fantasy, scenario, it will give you Arrakis with a sandworm, because that's what it's been trained on. You see what I'm saying? That's the issue with these models. But this is developing so fast, I think things are going to get political over this. We're going to see more and more of this copyright infringement. We're going to see better and more lifelike models where you're just not going to be able to tell what's going on. And also with the political aspect, you're going to see politicians. We're already seeing this. We've been seeing it for a while. But you're going to see more politicians having fake videos of them thrown all over the place, more celebrities, content creators, even down to just, normal people on the street are going to have this done to them. In fact, I've seen this is a quite disturbing channel on, it must be on TikTok, but I've seen it on Instagram Reels, where they film with the Ray-Ban smart glasses, but they're actually filming people shopping and then using an AI visual model to like edit them climbing into the freezer or doing something obscene, you know, with the milk or whatever in the store. And then they go and show somebody working in the store, look at this, I've just filmed this guy, you know, throwing a load of rubbish into the chest freezers, and then they run through the store and try and find the guy. And I'm watching it thinking, maybe everyone's like in on the joke here, but if they're not, this is a bit of a worry, because average people are now getting affected by the likes of AI video generation. It's not just the super Hollywood stars. It's starting to proliferate out into everything, and it's got to be a worry for everyone. It has to be, right? Because like I've said, look, listen, my take on this is I don't want a world where I'm sitting here and I'm just getting fed my own AI generated, you know, endless episodes of Next Generation, right? They're just being generated, all my favorite episodes over and over again, different regurgitations of them, just constantly going. Every night I can watch 5 episodes. It's made 1 billion episodes. It's got more than enough for me to watch for the rest of my life. And what world is that? That's a very sad world. You know, we should share these experiences with other people, not just have some sort of curated personal experience, which is ultimately artificially generated. Anyway, thank you for watching today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I've been Stylosa. You can follow me on everything, which is @Stylosa. And yeah, unfortunately, your RAM's still going to cost $900. In fact, it's probably going to go up even more. Your storage and everything else is going to cost more, because people are now turning meme templates into videos to take the piss, because that's where we are in the AI world at the moment. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. See you soon.